And it was awesome. We had such a great podcast episode together. And let's see. So, Tim, I think you have to ask to join. Here he is, your request. Let me see. Go live with Tim. Here we go. Oh my gosh, my friend. I am so glad to actually jump you into this conversation to get you on. Hi! It's been way too long. You are all over the place, my friend.
Listen, let's talk about how great your TED Talk was. Because I had never seen it until this morning. And I wake up super early. I wake up at 5 every morning.
I'm up at 4.
I said, I meant to see it, but I did not see it. Your TED Talk was phenomenal.
Thank you.
As a speaker to another speaker, even your ending with going back to the Webster's dictionary and everything you did, wow. That was phenomenal.
We are on a mission, my friend, to change that definition because, as you know, we need more forgiveness in this world, right? And so it's something that, and the definition that's there right now is just not suitable. It's just not. So thank you. That means the world to me.
You're amazing. I like you. I love the fact that when life interruptions came your way, so early in life, and then even the incident as a teenager, that you could have just stayed stuck and just and said, that's my life. I'm now going to sit in my setback, and I deserve to sit in my setback. But look at all the people you're now.
Thank you.
And look out there in the sun.
Thank you.
Living your.
I'm going to share something with you, and you will understand this. There were 2 moments in my life that I share with people. One of them was I was in church, and when I was pregnant, and I remember exactly where I was sitting, 17 years old, very front right pew, looking up at the altar. And I had this and this goes into your book and what you do, right? And how, and who you are. And I had this overwhelming sense of calm and peace and love absolutely flood over me. And it was this moment of God's got my back. And all of what I'm living through, right? There's reasons. And I didn't know them at the time. I was 17, and here I am today. And so standing on a TED Talk stage talking about forgiveness. And
I love it.
Written a book. So there you go.
About today, I want to talk about your book. So your book came out in November, is that correct?
Yeah, it came out a week after the elections. Great timing.
You have it with you right now?
I do. Yeah. Okay, here we go. Yep. Thank you.
So, I kept that in my room on my dresser for like 3 months straight. And no, that's a compliment to you, because even after I was reading the book, I still kept it there.
Thank you.
And then I would say to myself, well, why are you keeping it there? And I thought, because I want to talk to her. But what was the reason you decided to even write the book?
So that goes back to when I was 18, and I was feeling like no one was understanding. I went to the police after everything happened to me, and I wasn't believed, and there was just so much that was happening. Became a college student, and I remember driving home from the university one day. I went to Madison, and I had this hit. I'm calling it a miracle moment that you speak of this. You need to keep walking your walk. You need to keep moving forward. You need to keep taking your steps, because someday you need to be able to share your story and to get the truth out there so other people don't feel alone. And, I couldn't figure it out until I turned 40. And then I turned 40 and my life imploded for the second time, major trauma. And then I realized, I still had to walk through all of my own stories before I could actually write the book and get onto stage and speak the truth and make the difference that I knew at some point in my life I would. So, and that's literally your miracle mentality. I've experienced more magical moments in my life then, and it's because I've learned, especially through nature, how to be open to them and embrace them and to listen, being aware, right? And so that was it. That was the hit. I had this just overwhelming feeling that it needed
Okay.
to be done.
So for those that do not know about the book, can you lift it up again so we can see the
Yeah,
title?
absolutely. There you go.
Okay, so can you read it to him?
Walk through this. It's harness the healing power of nature and travel the road to forgiveness.
Okay, so
This is
let's
it.
talk, let's talk about this idea of nature being healing. Walk me through that a little bit.
Well, hence me being outside right now, even though I'm hearing all of the trucks. You know, I grew up in a very small town in Wisconsin. And when I went through my trauma at 17, I would go and sit in cornfields and I would, notice nature's itty bitty little, just the little pieces of it, right? Like from the grass to the cornfields to just everything. And I didn't understand what was happening, but what it was doing is that it was giving me a new perspective on, and it was getting me out of my head and allowing me to drop into my heart and to connect with something so much larger than myself.
Yeah.
So and I mean, it's God's space, right? Like that's the universe space. And so when I turned 40 and everything happened, I went right back to what I had learned and remembered that I had learned at the age of 17. And this book was my mom. You're in your connection with your mother. My mom was the one in my trauma at 17. She kept saying, walk down Main Street and hold your head high. People may not believe you right now, but they will someday, right? Your integrity and your values and your foundation it's everything. And so when I then had everything happen at 40, I started walking outside. I was walking the trails. I was walking down the green belts. I was connecting to something so much larger than my story, because our story, we need to connect to our story, right? Because that's who we are. And yet it doesn't define who we are. We're so much bigger than all of that.
I like that. Well, I think obviously, so many people go through what I call life interruptions.
Yes.
When they're a kid, like their parents get divorced or they have an illness. But I don't want to get into the description of your life interruptions right now.
Yeah. Okay.
But that yours were so devastating.
Yeah.
That they could have just stopped somebody forever. And so for those that are watching right now, when somebody goes through a life interruption, why should they choose better rather than just staying where they are? Why should they choose to try to get better?
Well, I think that our experiences are there to teach us, right? They're happening. I've truly believed, I'm 47 now, almost 48. Looking back, I can see where my experiences have been there for me. They are not happening to me. And
Okay.
so by allowing, and I've got 3 sons, right? They're 30, 20, and 15. My youngest turns 15 on Friday. And for me, it was also realizing that the past patterns, I don't want them to be carrying them forward. I want them to be able to learn from my experiences so that they become better men in this world, so that they become men for others and mentors and create a better world themselves. And so really it wasn't just about me. It was about my kids. It was about my family. It was about other people, my friends, my community that could learn from it. And so it's easy to stay where we're at, right? It is. We get to that place sometimes where we're like, this is too hard. And yet it's through the hard that we realize, first of all, we don't have to make it so difficult. I always say healing does not have to be very, very difficult. We seem to think that it's this, this really treacherous thing to walk through. And it doesn't have to be. Your book though, Tim, seriously, that is actually a part of it. It's about seeing the magical moments along the way and realizing that those are what we can attach to. That's where we can actually learn so much more about who we are.
Okay.
And so yeah.
Use the word attach, okay? So we get attached to better moments, better life.
Yes.
Because that's what's happened in your life. But I think you would agree that we have to find ways to detach to attach.
100%.
So let me go there for a minute. Detach from even sometimes the verbiage of what happened to me. Now, you tell your story because your story is like a testimony that is helping to change people. I tell a part of my story of my childhood and that because it's a story that helps heal people. But I think some people tell their story too much.
Yes.
That they keep putting it out there in the atmosphere, and it's not allowing them to detach to
Right.
attach.
Right.
What do you think
Right.
about that?
1,000%, 1,000%. And in my journey of healing, I noticed even in the beginning, I was like the ruminating story in my head of how could this have happened to me, and like why again? Where am I in all of this? And being able to get out. I remember the mountain summits that I would go to when I would be outside, and I'd realize this space, this world is so much greater than the story that I had been attaching to, right? That I had, and you have to walk through, you have to feel the pain in order
Yeah.
to actually then step into the happiness. You have to understand the moments of what got you there so that you can do better next time. That said, for me, and this is why nature is so important as well, when you can actually start to see yourself outside of that space, that's where you can then step into. You have to be able to get out, you have to have the clarity, right? And so, when I would be paddling on the ocean and I'd see a dolphin or a whale, I was like, wow, this world is so magical. And
Yeah.
I want to be a part of that. I don't want to stay in this space of rumination, of the story that I had lived through. I want to create something so much bigger from it. And so that's that space of I need to detach to then attach to create something that is so much more of what I actually wanted in my lifetime.
Can you show the cover of your book again?
Absolutely.
Someone was
Here we
asking,
go.
what is it called? So
Walk
can I
through this. Yep.
congratulate you on something? The fact that you signed with Harper Horizon,
Yeah.
of HarperCollins, that's not easy.
No. It's not
Listen.
easy. I had no idea it was going to be like that.
Like a guy like me, I should be signed to these companies because I know everybody. Like,
Right. I didn't know
no,
anybody.
I don't even I to call just now.
Oh.
2 times my phone stopped because some famous manager just called. So I should know people for this, but for you to get signed to Harper Horizon,
Yeah.
is such a big deal.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
What
Thank
a great
you.
team they are over there, right?
Yeah. Oh gosh, I love that team. The team at Harper Horizon, they're amazing. And yeah, when so Amber Lillystrom is my coach, right? And you know her quite well. And
Friends.
we talked about that. She's like, you and Tim Storey signed with this. I'm like, I know, it's so great. That is a miracle moment for me. Like that is a magical, beautiful moment for me. And I did a lot of my praying and my and really manifesting this when I was on trails in the mountains. And I don't know if you know that or not, but literally I would go on a trail for 8 days and I would envision what my literary agent what they would be like. And then I went on and I envisioned what kind of team I wanted. And then I envisioned, that's how I really, that's my attachment to something so much larger. I go into nature, and that's why I wrote the book the way that I did. That's why I guide people in the Grand Canyon. That's why I do all this work. You
and nature, because you're outside more than squirrels.
That's hilarious.
Like every time I see you're outside more. You're outside more than a squirrel.
It's true, actually.
Okay, so I need your help with something. So the other day I had a choice, and the choice was, do I go to the gym that's in my house? Because one of my friends during the pandemic said they shut down your gym. Let me come and see your garage. And he goes, oh my God, you have such a clean garage. He goes, okay. And he literally brought in like $40,000 worth of gym equipment. And I have a gym that's like at a really high level. So I woke up yesterday and I thought, I'm going to go to the gym. But then I said, no, for some reason, I'm like longing for trees.
Yes.
So I went to this one park that has a lot of trees and has a lake. But I had to drive a little bit to get there. Why was I longing for that? And why did it put me in such a good mood?
Well, because that there's scientific proof actually that just 5 minutes a day in nature helps to shift our brain patterns. And you and I are very much alike. Like our frontal lobe is always on. We're doing it right now. But when
Yeah.
we're out there, we find clarity, we find peace, we find awe and wonder. Awe and wonder is actually one of the most amazing and most important feelings and emotions that we can have to live a life in gratitude. And so when we get okay, yesterday I went to a gym. That was the first time in 10 years.
Wow.
I have not been to a gym and it's been over 10 years. And because I realized that where I'm getting not only a physical workout, but a mental, emotional, spiritual workout is when I'm outside, is when I can go for a walk or a run or,
So
go on the
tell
beach.
that do not know you yet, like I follow you.
Yeah.
You doing hikes. You do. Tell them the various things you do.
So I am a coach also. I work a lot with people who have lived through traumatic experiences, but I work with more than just that. I mean, I work with like all sorts of different people. I also guide retreats in the Grand Canyon. So I lead men and women on retreats in the Grand Canyon where we're down there for 2 nights, 2 to 3 nights. They're 5-day retreats. They include 3 months of coaching with me. And I'm starting to do them in Alaska now too. So my
Okay.
Alaska retreat
This is
is,
great
yeah.
idea. So Gary Vee doesn't do this. Tony Robbins doesn't do this.
No,
Les
it's very different.
doesn't. I'm not going to do this because I'm afraid of animals.
Tim, I would love to take you down into the Grand Canyon. I am very serious. I think we should do it together. I would love that.
Look at me.
Are you kidding? I gotcha.
Okay, wait a second. What kind of animals have you seen down there? Tell me.
There's nothing that there's honestly nothing that can harm you or hurt you. You
Tell
see
me.
beautiful little deer. It's amazing. It's amazing.
I'm
Oh.
I'm an inner city kid.
Well, that's okay. That's why I do this because, meditating in nature and spending time out there. And, you talk a lot in your book too about that childlike sense. And that is actually what I aspire for my clients to actually get back to as well. Because when we get out of the adult mind and we allow ourselves to play and to experience life through our own child's lens, that child within us, that's where we also find so much peace, right? And we're so afraid to fail, but we don't realize that there really is no such thing. Like that's where we learn. And so when I guide people, I love it. Like this is my jam space because that's where I went to do so much of my healing and my growing and my stepping into who I am. And so, yeah, I do them all over the place now. And I love it. I absolutely love it. I think especially coming out of the year that we've lived in, I think it's so important for us to do some deep, deep, deep reflecting. And that's
Yeah,
where
I
you can do it.
about a lot. So I got a whole other side of me. Like people always say, like, you're doing so much, you're so many places, but they don't understand. I got a side of me where I'm a bit of a loner, and that's where I get so much of my creativity.
Yeah.
Is in taking walks. And I was just at the beach for 3 days alone by myself at this amazing hotel, all by myself, but nobody knew it.
Yep. That's
And
amazing. Beautiful.
why did I by myself? Because I wanted to be by myself. And then I would wake up early in the morning. I would walk on the beach. Then I'd do my work. And then I'd go out by sunset again and watch the sun go down. Oh my gosh.
Yep.
After 3 days of that, I feel like I could soar across the Pacific Ocean all the way to Honolulu.
That's exactly how I feel too. And that's why I go out onto the Pacific Ocean myself. That's why I go paddle. That's why I go, just walk. People think that I'm this big extrovert. And yes, I love, love people. And this is like a part of who I am. I also need that internal space for my own peace where I just can go away by myself and do my thing and, and connect with who I am. And that's why I do that.
Somebody wrote in the chats that they think there's snakes in the Grand Canyon.
I saw that.
Is this true?
Okay, there are, but I've never seen one. Okay, I've never seen a snake. There are. I've never seen one. You know what I have seen? So I just led a retreat in July, And we saw the most amazing sun dogs. Do you know what a sun dog is, Tim? It's a rainbow around the sun. We saw two. And then
Whoa.
we were, they're incredible. Christmas Eve, I led a group down over Christmas, and it happened to be a bunch of, the group happened to be people who had lost loved ones in their life. And so they wanted to go down there to have the spiritual experience and to really, heal through their grieving experience. And we were sitting up alongside this canyon wall, and we looked up. It was Christmas Eve, and we saw a moon dog, which is a rainbow around the moon. And
Yeah.
so it's so beautiful to be out in nature. And that's where, like I said, like that's the
Okay.
space.
So tell us how to get in touch with you, how to coach with you, how to go on one of these guided tours with you. Tell us how to do that.
You can find me through my website, sarahschultingkranz.com, or just message me through Instagram and follow along. I love that you're here. We have so many things that we're working on right now, from a documentary that's in post-production, where we actually filmed in the bottom of the Grand Canyon, which was really cool. And we're working on changing the definition of forgive in the dictionary. It's important.
Yes.
Speaking now, doing so much more. I mean, there's just so many things that we're doing, and it's yeah, definitely. You can find me through that, though, or just email me, sarah@sarahschultingkranz.com. No H. A lot of people put an H at the end of my name. I don't have an H.
Yes. Okay. So let's spend 5 more minutes if you have it.
Absolutely.
Tell me about the documentary.
So the documentary is really cool. I have to say, I'm really excited about it. We started filming back in my hometown of Black friends from when I was young. My mom walked me down Main Street during the filming, and we filmed in Los Angeles. My ex-husband was filmed, which is really cool. I'm happy about that. And then there were 10 women that went down to the Grand Canyon Thanksgiving 2019, right before the pandemic. And we filmed. It was exactly 7 years to the day that everything happened to me too. And that was a God-given gift. Like, it's not one of those things that, I expected to have happened. And then they had happened. Everything just lined up. And it was during a state of emergency. And so that was really cool too. We filmed with the Grand Canyon, the rim closed because there was so much snow. I mean, it was really beautiful. And we have other women's stories in it. It's my own life story, along with other women that are sharing their stories of just overcoming. And
A lot of good projects. Got the book out with Harper Horizon.
I know a lot of
That's coming out. She's a life coach. She's a speaker. She has great kids, great husband. She's got great hair. Nice nail polish.
Thank you. Oh, my nail polish is blue because it's the ocean, just so everybody knows. Somebody said to me recently, I said, I love your necklace. I said, thank you. This is from the man I'm dating now. And then my blue is my mountains and ocean. I am a total mountain and ocean girl.
Yes. Yeah. So life is good. And so for anybody that is watching right now, you can forgive and you can go on. And so last thing that I want to see if you would talk about, someone asked, what is the definition of forgiveness?
So, what's interesting is when I was doing my TED Talk, somebody asked me about how do you forgive? And I said, forgiving isn't about forgetting. It's not about pardoning what happened to you. It's not saying, that what happened was okay. It's about honoring your experience through it. And so and if you look it up in Webster's dictionary, they actually have to forgive it's the process of forgetting. It's like to forgive and forget. And so that's how my TED Talk came into play, is because for me, it's about honoring the experience. It's about saying, yes, this happened to me, and I'm not condoning it. I'm not pardoning it. What I am doing is choosing to hand back the pain that I've learned from and to step into peace and freedom.
Wow. Okay, hold up your book one more time.
Here is my book.
Okay, buy that book. We can get it on Amazon. Did you do
an
audio?
I did my own audio. I was so excited about that. Thank you, Team Harper Horizon. I know. It was this whole like, well, but it's your first book. And I literally I just kept asking. I'm a little persistent sometimes because sometimes you have to be, right?
Oh,
And
now that I remember, a while back, I was looking you up, and I got how you can get a sample of somebody's audio,
yes,
and that is your voice, right? That was
it
your
is my
voice.
voice. Yeah. Yeah, it is. It is. I was really excited about that. There's meditations that I also recorded in the book. There's this beautiful forgiveness meditation at the end. I always say everything starts with self. So it's about self-forgiveness and then forgiving others and forgiveness for the world. Because we've all been wronged at some place,
Yeah.
right? So it's really about spreading more forgiveness out there to create a better world for everyone. And I really felt like this story needed to be told in my voice, and they respected that. So again, Team Harper Horizon, thank you. Thank you.
Well, I'm
Yes.
so proud of you. This is your time to shine. And you know what? We might do a Grand Canyon trip, me and you.
I would love that,
And
Tim.
I obviously could bring some unique people there. And
I have my thoughts.
as long as I have one bodyguard that's keeping the snakes away from me,
That will be me.
that's enough.
So I can do that. That's it. That's all it's going to take. I
I
got
have,
you.
I have my Keith Kraft. He's about 6'5", with a lot of muscles. He has a church of about 14,000 people. Keith, I don't even need you to guard. She's going to guard me. We don't need you, Keith.
That's great. That's so great.
All right.
Oh,
Awesome.
Tim, so much love and respect for you. Truly, so much love and respect for you. I love everything that you're doing.
Same.
Congratulations on your book. I'm loving it. I've read it. I'm reading through it again. It's so great.
And thank you, a caring person that you are. And I look forward to seeing you as your life just keeps unfolding in these beautiful places.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
I need to close this down because I don't know how.
Oh, I need to close this down? You don't know how? Oh, I'll close it down. I gotcha.
Yeah.
So I do want to, for those people that are also watching, go get this. Truly, like, please. It's so good. And I just want to thank you again for being here.
That was it. She closed it down.
I closed it down. Anything you want to say last? No, that's it? All right.
Hey.
I'll see you in the Grand Canyon. That's how I'm going to close this down.
Bye.
Oh, my love. Okay, we'll talk to you soon.